Alright, so here it is, another tier list. This one, the Invincibles. I decided this would be a nice thing to do while I am out for the weekend, so please hit that like button down below. I'm out having some fun, so if you could make my day by hitting that like button on here, it'd be great. We are going to rank, I think, every single Invincible that's in the game. I waited to record this until Friday morning, right before I leave, so we could have all the tier list, or all the Invincible cards that did drop with Season 9. So we got guys like Tony Kukoc, Dennis Rodman, and the like, all gonna have some fun. So if you are excited, hit that like button down below, as well as if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. But before we fully get into it, we got a sponsor for today's video. We have a message from. If you need your 12-0 unlimited domination, TTO, or even more services grinded, go contact Rose NBA on Twitter right now at twitter.com/r6creditscell. Link in the description down below. And now that that's all done, we can start it off by showing you guys everybody that is in the hard pass tier. Everybody who, even though they're an Invincible, I really don't recommend picking up unless you're doing some sort of squad builder. Boom, there they are. Allen Iverson, Tim Duncan, Russell Westbrook, Kevin Garnett, Jerry West, Isaiah Thomas, Dennis Rodman, and Damian Lillard. Now, the exception to this, I'm pretty sure, is Isaiah Thomas. I think he's one that we get for literally just logging into the game on Season 9, which I'll find out eventually because I'm recording this before 11. For most of these cards, I mean, like with Allen Iverson and Isaiah Thomas and Jerry West and Damian Lillard, they're all kind of undersized, even Russell Westbrook as well. They're all pretty undersized guards who, yeah, they have all 99 stats. They have a bunch of Hall of Fame badges. Even Iverson has one of the best bases in the game with Trey Burke. They're just really not cards that I highly recommend using. They're good, they're fun, but in the grand scheme of things, I really only recommend them unless if you have like some sort of squad build or something like that. Tim Duncan has one of the slowest releases in the entire game. It's just not really that great. Kevin Garnett has set shot 14, which I know on current and a lot of people hate, and it's just not really a jumper that most people are messing with. And Dennis Rodman has set shot 17, which is a jumper that I kind of like, but I know most people don't. And he's mainly kind of like a absolutely like defensive demon, and that's really all he does. And most cards really are good on defense at this point, so who really needs Rodman at this point? He needs a new jumper, he needs a new something, because he just doesn't hit the same as he used to. Starting off our still decent here, we have the wonderful Scottie Pippen, a card who is an absolute beaut. Scottie Pippen does have jump shot 30. It's a really slow jumper and just not one that I'm really feeling. And again, Scottie's kind of thing is that he's a fast break guy with really good defense, and it's just, I don't know, not really my thing anymore. If you have fun with him, that's great. He can still be a pretty good 2 option, but there are definitely better Invincibles, especially at his 2 positions, which is why he's down here in the still decent tier. Same thing goes with Steph Curry. He's an absolutely great card, but when it comes to the grand scheme of point guards, I like him better because now he has a good dribble style, and the Steph Curry jumper is one of the best bases in the game. So I do think out of all the shorter PGs that are Invincibles, I would probably pick up Steph Curry and one other guy who we have in here. But in the grand scheme of things, he's nothing insane anymore. The pink dime was elite in the beginning, but at this point, no thank you. Next up is Oscar Robertson, and the big O as one of the best jumpers in the game with the Oscar Robertson jumper. It's just one of those jumpers that is absolutely amazing, and I really like. Plus, he's 6'5", which is awesome. Absolutely love him. Like, he's a great card, but again, when it comes to like PGs at this point, it's like 6'7", 6'8", or above, or not even using it. Oscar's good, but I don't remember a single person that was hyped at all since he came out for him. Next up is the wonderful Nikola Jokic, a card who I think everybody kind of got disappointed with when he came out. Jokic being a 7-foot center point guard, a lot of people were pretty excited about it. 69 Hall of Fame badges is absolutely amazing, but then they decided to give him the slasher dribble style and make him a little bit too heavy to Curry slide. With jump shot 38, I'm very quick, it can be nice, but that slasher dribble style makes it so you really don't get that great of, speed bursts anywhere, and it makes this Jokic pretty terrible, if I'm being honest. Like, jump shot 38 is good, but there's no reason to use him above a lot of the other centers that we have right now. Next up is James Harden, who is just way too slow again of a jumper. I think really to be super viable in the game. He's fun, he's cool. If you like Harden cards or you're just a Harden fan, he can be fun. But in the grand scheme of things, that jumper's just way too slow, way too baited to really do anything with. Same thing with Dwight Howard. He's a great card all around. He's like 6'11" center, so he has that like extra vertical to really just jump up and snag every damn rebound. And he's actually pretty fun if you just love slashing at the basket and literally dunking on everybody. This Dwight Howard's got that. But his jumper's pretty terrible. So if you're looking for, a guy who can consistently shoot around, Dwight's not really your guy. But I know a lot of people who have used this card and have had a grand old time with it. And I've had some people piece me with him. So he still has some potential. Next up is Derrick Rose, the other PG that I think I'd use along with Steph Curry, even though they're a bit undersized. I know that Westbrook and Rose kind of do the same things, but the difference is Westbrook has a terrible jumper, one of the worst in the game in my opinion, and Rose actually is a super solid, pretty easy to time jumper, which I absolutely love. And Derrick Rose all year I think has been one of my favorite PGs to run, so it really hasn't changed much. Just Derrick Rose, absolute demon. And last but not least in our still decent tier is the horrible Blake Griffin, who I, no joke, did not even get. I was debating it, but this card was so not exciting to me that I just didn't end up getting him. I think he's alright, but that Blake Griffin jumper is just so mid-tier in my opinion that it is not even worth using. Like, I don't see a scenario where I'm probably going to have this Blake on my team. He's fun, he's cool, but no thank you. If you get him for free, that's awesome, but I'm just not really interested in him. Next up is Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain's an absolute beast, obviously. I mean, like, Wilt the Stilt, this man was a demon back in the day, and he's still fun. But again, set shot 17, not a great jumper. You can get away with it, especially if you're a center. I think it's okay. But Wilt just snags rebounds, plays great in the paint, and he's just always a little bit better than, I guess, maybe stats would suggest. So I think I'm pretty damn solid. Next up is the new reward, I think, for hitting... finishing off the new domination, and that is Invincible Vince Carter, who is actually pretty cool. I will say Vince Carter does have one of those jumpers that's really easy to time because it's one of those medium speed ones, and he's 6'6", so the PG can be a pretty decent option. Plus he's just basically all 99 stats, can curry slide, all that sort of stuff, which is nice. But it really just depends on how you value Vince Carter. I think because of how easy his jumper is to green, I put him in the pretty damn solid, but I still don't know if I'm recommending grinding out domination. We'll see later on, I guess. Next up is the wonderful, the beautiful Ray Allen, who is going to be one of the most fun cards to use on next gen, even without steady, because the Ray Allen base is just one of the cheesiest, most broken jumpers in the entire game, because it is one of the fastest jumpers in the game, and if you can get it down, it is absolutely amazing. This Ray Allen is going to be a beast, even though he's a little bit undersized at the 2. Next up is Moses Malone, who I had up in the Baby Demon tier on the previous Invincibles tier list, but in this one, I think I might have to knock Moses Malone down a little bit. Yeah, he's cool. Yeah, he's going to be fun. He's got, I think, jump shot 31 as a center, which is nice. But he's a little bit undersized, and I don't know. To me, the only thing that puts him a little bit up above Dwight Howard is the fact that he's got a slightly better jumper. But there's a lot of center power forwards running at that Invincible tier. And there's so many that I personally think are a little bit better. Next up is Michael Jordan, the MJ that we just keep getting, man. We got a GOAT Michael Jordan today, who is a shooting guard, point guard as well. Has all 99 stats, literally all 99, and every single Hall of Fame badge in the game on both current and next gen, which is just honestly kind of unreal. He has the MJ jumper, which is cool, especially on very quick. It's fun, but I think the problem with Jordan, I guess, is that he's got good animations, but they're never top tier, which is why I think I have him in the pretty damn solid. Like, he's good, but just never insane. Next up is Klay Thompson, who is going to, I guess, fill the role of being one of the best 3-and-D cards in the entire game. But I understand there's some people who, for some reason this year, just don't like the Klay base. Doesn't hit the same for him, and that's alright. I understand it. I still personally love Klay Thompson cards. I think this one is going to be an absolute beast. But if you haven't been a fan of the Klay Thompson jumper this year, it's definitely not going to be one for you personally. Next up is the wonderful Hakeem Elijah set shot 18. Another one of those not so great jumpers that maybe you want to avoid a little bit, but Hakeem is still going to be pretty nice because obviously he's an insane defender all around. This one's lightning quick. The only badges he doesn't have are Teardropper, Steady Shooter, and Stop and Go, which are some pretty good badges to not have, if I'm being honest. Like, those are some, yeah, you could kind of forget about it. Plus, he got the Shifty, and he has the ability to curry slide, but he's a little bit too heavy, so he can't actually do it. But I think Hakeem going out there, speed bursting and all that sort of stuff as a 7-foot center is going to be pretty fun. And he can be a good card as long as you get used to that jumper. Next up is Grant Hill, another case of pretty terrible jumper. Now, I understand that this Invincible is a little bit better than his out of position, but in my opinion, I think the reason the out of position was as good as he was because he could play the PG position, and the fact that this one can't, yeah, I feel like they took away a good thing for him. Grant Hill with jump shot 1, even on very quick, it's still a little bit slow and not the greatest. I don't love it. You can kind of get used to it, but there's some people who absolutely hate it, and if you're one of those people, I would avoid it. He's a good 2 guard, but I much prefer him playing at the point guard because you can really utilize that speed bursting a little bit better. Next up is the wonderful, the beautiful Dwayne Wade, who, if it weren't for the Dwayne Wade base being as overpowered as it is, obviously he wouldn't be up here. But one of the only undersized guys, because he's 6'4", at the point guard position that you can legitimately go out there and fully compete with, because just bursting around and chucking up shots with that Dwayne Wade base is absolutely overpowered, especially on current gen. Next up is Dirk Nowitzki, a card who got blessed with a better jumper. It's still a little bit slow because Dirk is so tall, but I will say I'm actually a fan of this Dirk quite a bit, man. Jump shot 94 is actually pretty awesome, especially on very quick, and I mean, he's 1 pound too heavy to curry slide, but you can still speed burst with him and all that sort of stuff, which is awesome. It's fun, and it seriously is the best version of a Dirk card that we've had in a while, especially when you compare it to that the 2K20 Dirks, who are always absolutely terrible. So it's a nice sign seeing him being pretty competitive in the game at least. And last but not least is the wonderful, the beautiful Team USA Carmelo Anthony, who is an amazing card. If you like Melo cards, I mean, this is exactly your cup of tea, and yeah, there's that. And I absolutely love Melo cards myself. I've had a lot of fun with a lot of them. And this Carmelo does have his own jumper. I'm very quick. He can curry slide, all that sort of stuff. Plus, he's a 6'8" shooting guard, which is going to be absolutely amazing. Now, we have a lot of shooting guards as well at the Invincible side, and I think that his jumper is good, but not as good as some of the other guys that we have up here. So he got knocked down just a little bit into the pretty damn solid tier. These are still all amazing cards. Now, starting off the baby demon tier is another one of the new, beautiful Space Jam cards that we got today in Invincible Anthony Davis. Now, I much prefer his Space Jam card art than this Invincible, which is still cool, but trust me, I would say for the slight downgrades that you get going to the Space Jam just for the card art, I think it's definitely worth it. But the great thing is that 80 is 6'10", which is a pretty good size for a power forward. Anytime you really can have that, which I absolutely love. 80's jumper may not be one of the most amazing, but it's one of those medium speed jumpers that I think is really easy to time and really easy to get down. Plus, 80 is just one of those cards that his defense hits different, especially on the interior, where you just send his shots like crazy, and it's always a pretty fun time. Plus, he just has that like glitchy long wingspan, allows him to dunk in everybody. 80 cards are just always ones that play above and beyond what you would expect them to, and I absolutely love it. Next up is obvious, the Tracy McGrady, a card that I forgot to rank last time because 2KDB didn't have his card art when I was looking through at the time. It was a little glitched, but either way, Tracy McGrady's here, and obviously with that trade break base, he's one of the best cards in the game. I mean, like, come on. Trade break base, I'm very quick at 6'8", the 2, all 99 stats. It's obviously going to be amazing. This T-Mac is one of those cards who is literally the top tier on both gens. It's honestly kind of insane. Always love T-Mac. Next up is the wonderful, the beautiful Tacko Fall, who is an absolute demon at 7'5" with an 8-foot wingspan. The longest wingspan in the entire game on his Tacko Fall, which is crazy. I do have him myself, and it's a pretty good time, let me tell you. Just running around and blocking everybody's shots out there, which is always going to be great. Now, I did put him down a little bit lower because we got a new, 2 new centers who I do think are better than Tacko Fall, so I didn't want to put them all on the same tier. But if you can't get these guys up in Demon tier, Tacko being literally free is always going to be a better option for you. Next up is the wonderful, the beautiful Penny Hardaway, jump shot 75, just again, one of those medium speed, smooth, consistent jumpers that it's always pretty easy to get down, and he's 6'7" with literally everything you would want. Penny Hardaway, I think, as just an all-around PG, is absolutely amazing, and none of these cards are exactly cheap, so you know, that can't really factor too much into the price. But if you like jump shot 75, you know, maybe on a card like Obi Toppin, Pascal Siakam, something like that, you're going to love this Penny Hardaway card. Going to be real consistent, real smooth, real nice. So highly recommend if you like that at least. Next up is the wonderful, the beautiful Magic Johnson. Obviously, I had to put him down from the Demons tier just because, I mean, if you think about it, Magic is absolutely amazing. But the one thing that hinders him every single year is that he has a pretty terrible jumper, if we're being honest, like a really bad jumper. So, you know, there is that, but he is a 6'9" point guard with literally the best animations in the entire game when it comes to dribbling, so he's always going to be a fun guy, at least to have on the squad and have some fun with. Next up is the wonderful, the beautiful Kobe Bryant. The Kobe Bryant base on very quick, one of the best in the game in my opinion. I call that top 5 to 10 card, honestly. It's just super fun, let's be honest. Plus, I mean, Kobe, he is 6'6", so a little bit undersized because obviously like T-Mac's the meta, but I think you can still get away with it, still have some fun. Even if you pick up that Pantheon Team USA, absolutely amazing. These are great cards because that jumper is so easy to time. Next up is a card that I am honestly so excited to get this season in Invincible Dr. J, because he is a 6'6" 2 guard with the Rudy Gay base on very quick. I have made it no secret that the Rudy Gay base this year is one of my favorites in the entire game, and then you give him all of these Hall of Fame badges. He has 70 Hall of Fame badges, Dr. J, on current gen, and 71 on next gen. Yeah, it's going to be nothing but a good time, honestly. So I'm gassed because the Rudy Gay base is one of the biggest green window jumpers in the game. It's smooth, it's consistent, nice medium speed, and I absolutely love it. Highly recommend everybody to go out and grind this Dr. J. Next up is the wonderful Jason Tatum for 4,000 cards collected. Probably one of the least worth it Invincibles, but when he has Jump Shot 107, which is one of the biggest green windows, if not the biggest green window jumper in the game, it's going to be great and it's going to be nice. Plus, Tatum's a great 3-and-D option, especially as that small forward. All around, definitely a beast. Next up is Invincible Giannis. Giannis is a gorgeous man and is actually kind of carrying the Bucks right now in the finals, so you gotta love that. Giannis's jumper has not the greatest green window on either gens, which is a little bit tough, but the just defensive presence that Giannis brings, being 6'11", having his massive wingspan, and just being Giannis is always great. Plus, if you're somebody who loves to abuse the sidestep layups getting in there or the sidestep dunks, it's always going to be a great time, and his Giannis is going to hit different. But I do think there's definitely some better options, which we'll see up in the Demon tier at his position, which is why I knocked him down to a baby Demon tier. And last but not least is probably my most controversial pick in Bill Russell, and that's because we actually almost got a Bill Russell clone up at the that's going to be in the Demon tier that can also play small forward, so I changed it a little bit. This Bill Russell is still one of my favorite cards to run in the game. I think he's still actually my starting power forward, which I absolutely love. This Bill Russell is an absolute demon, man. Ray Allen base on very quick, again, the fastest jumper in the game. Always going to be great, and Bill just hits different on defense, which I absolutely love. When it comes to big men, I think he's my favorite 3-and-D center power forward in the entire game. And last but not least, we're starting off the Demon tier with the guy who I was saying is just a better version of Bill Russell, in my opinion, in Tony Kukoc, because he is a 6'10" small forward power forward with a 7'2" wingspan that can do the Curry, the Pro 3 behind the back, has the Ray Allen base on very quick, and is going to completely change the game. Now, this Tony Kukoc, I'm not exactly sure where he's available, to be honest. So, you know, there's that. I'm not exactly sure what I have to go through to get him, but I promise you, I will make sure I go ahead and get him. I might be limited or something like that. We'll have to see. But I highly recommend you get him if you can. Dude is absolutely insane at 6'10" with the 98 speed and speed with ball. This is going to be one cheesy card, man. Next up is Shaquille O'Neal, who I would consider probably one of the top 2 to 3 centers in the entire game, especially on current gen. Actually on current gen, not especially on, just on current gen, because they decided to give Shaquille O'Neal the Delino Gallinari jumper, which is one of the easiest green window jumpers to get. 7'1", 7'7" wingspan, and obviously he still has all the Shaq stuff that you'd want, like being a massive 300-pound man in the paint, which is always going to be great. Then you mix it with one of the best jumpers in the game, and Shaq is an absolute demon. If you're on current gen, you haven't tried Shaq, I suggest you give it a shot. Next up is the wonderful Paul George, who is always one of the best 3-point shooting cards in the game because I just love his jumper, and PG has insane defense, and then they made him a 6'9" point guard, and it's always going to be a great time. That Paul George jumper, especially on very quick, is just out of this world, and in my opinion, he's literally just a better Magic Johnson. So if you like Magic, upgrade it to PG. I promise you, if you got the MT, it's worth it. And next up is Yao Ming, the guard that is taking the 2K world by storm because this dude is absolutely insane. 7'6", every single, stat basically is 97 or above, and then he has set shot 8 on very quick, which is one of the biggest green window jumpers in the game, and he has the shifty dribble style, which means he's going to speed burst like an absolute maniac. This Yao Ming is the best center in the game when it comes to straight up just on current gen. He is going to absolutely kill everybody. He is insanely expensive because of that, but yeah, this Yao Ming's insane. Next up is the wonderful Luka Doncic, and I guess I'll include LeBron James. The reason these two cards are insane are because they have the Dante X and base, one of the easiest, if not the easiest jumper to time in the entire game. I personally think it's 98, but X is pretty close. And I mean, Luka is a 6'7" PG, and LeBron is a 6'9" small forward, power forward. These two are absolutely insane and some of the best cards at that position because of that X and base. It just hits different. Next up is Kevin Durant, the card who just moves different, man. Slenderman is out here, and he is moving like a madman. KD at 6'10" at the small forward shooting guard position is absolutely insane, and that's why he's up here. I think if he was small forward, power forward, I probably would put him below LeBron. But being at the shooting guard, this Kevin Durant, I think, is a top 3 shooting guard easily, without question. Plus that KD base, again, one of those medium speed, easy jumpers to time every single time. And if you haven't speed bursted with a Kevin Durant card, you don't know how insane he is with it, man. If there's some reason, he moves so fast with it. Next up is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the other center. I think these are the 3 easy top, especially current gen centers in Kareem, Yao Ming, and Shaq. You kind of can pick your poison. The difference here is Kareem has jump shot 21 on very quick, and has the pro ones for his behind the back, which is always pretty nice. I love jump shot 21, which means Kareem is one of my favorite cards to just use every single time. So if you haven't tried it out, he's amazing. I know some people don't like it, but I absolutely love it, and this Kareem is an absolute demon. Next up is the wonderful, the beautiful David Robinson, who is, I guess, in my opinion, at least a better version of Bill Russell. He has a D-Rob jumper on very quick, and Curry slides with a massive, massive player build, insane defense, and it's just an all-around joy to use. That's David Robinson, one of the best cards in the entire game, and one of the best centers, I think, especially on next. You know what? I'll say it. David Robinson, I think, is the best center on next gen, by far. Just an absolute demon. And last but not least, in my opinion, the best card in the game, aside from maybe Yao Ming, is Bol Bol. 7'2" small forward that speed bursts, Curry slides, is 7'7" wingspan, and has the Brook Lopez base, one of the biggest green window jumpers in the game, on very quick, with the Pro 3 behind the back. This Bol Bol has carried my team the entire time. Whenever I need a bucket, I just give it the Bol Bol, do a little cross, and I'm in the paint dunking on him with literally ease. It's not even difficult. This card is literally the best card in the game, at least in my opinion, especially on next gen. It is just unreal and worth the lock-in, especially if you get Michael Porter Jr. for a snipe like I did. So let me know what you guys think about the tier list down in the comment section below. I don't think I forgot anybody. I think I included all 47. That's how many are at least on the list here. If there's like 48 or 49, I missed somebody, let me know. And I guess I'll comment where he's supposed to be ranked. Is there guys that you want me to move up, move down, and all that sort of stuff? Let me know it down in the comment section below. Make sure you like the video, though, and hit that subscribe button if you're new, because we are on that road to 15K subscribers. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.